transition into a quick demonstration of the CloudGenera platform and show you how you could leverage this platform to advise and guide your customers either in upfront planning or ongoing optimization of their cloud spend. And in our brief demonstration, what we're going to take a look at today is a comparison of bare metal workloads. One of the things Ian mentioned earlier was how many customers are moving to cloud native architectures that are leveraging containers and Kubernetes. Well, when they do that, they need to lay down foundational infrastructure to support those pods of containers across their portfolio. And as Ian mentioned, there are many benefits from modeling and deploying applications in this sort of model. And what we're going to walk through here is a three-tier infrastructure. There's a set of nodes to host our Kubernetes environment that reflect the application services that live in our environment. Through our analysis, we have a different configuration of nodes that support those data services in our environment. And lastly, we have web services, and again, different container architecture, different hardware infrastructure requirements to support the capacity and the needs of those particular service types. So within CloudGenera, you can model these different requirements around compute, network, storage. You can group them logically, both for workload placement and for modernization analysis. The model does give you, as mentioned previously, the ability to input requirements around the demographics. So think location, think utilization, think user base and their concurrency. It allows you to document in a vendor neutral way the service level you expect to achieve. And these selections around reliability, scalability, monitoring and management, and the response time, those items will change the price because they'll change the recommended services to achieve what's best for an application's deployment. Also mentioned previously on the prior slide is the repository of security concerns that CloudGenera provides out of the box. Here you can define those concerns that would govern deployment of an application and the service expected to achieve compliance with your security concerns. Lastly, CloudGenera does provide a mechanism to calculate total cost of ownership from an application environment. If a customer doesn't know their financials, CloudGenera has a benchmark that can help them estimate the unit cost associated with their compute, their network, their storage, the software that runs on that environment, any labor associated or maintenance associated with supporting that particular environment. That's valuable because it provides a baseline for comparison. The primary output of this platform, as mentioned previously, is scorecarding. And these scorecards allow us to visualize best fit for our application. And in this use case, we're comparing three providers. We're comparing the West US data center for phoenixNAP in an on-demand price model. We're comparing Amazon data center in the West, again, in a shared on-demand model. And then we're looking at Google as a provider, again, in the West in an on-demand model. Now, Amazon as a provider offers bare metal infrastructure. Google, on the other hand, doesn't currently provide this. They provide a VM-based infrastructure. And then, of course, phoenixNAP provides bare metal, virtual, as well as a cloud offering tailored for security. And what this scorecard's telling us is that each of these providers were good at meeting our service level, security, and technology fit for the Kubernetes environment that we intend to deploy. We can see there's a little bit larger gap from our friends here at Google than in the other providers, and that's the notation that they actually don't offer bare metal. They do offer large shapes of virtual machines, but if your application and the workload's affinity is to bare metal architecture, that's the reason why Google has a lesser score. The other aspect of this model is total cost of ownership analysis. This is core to the presentation of business case that helps your client visualize a benefit to take an action. CloudGenera, using our benchmark or using customer data if they have it available around their costs, has calculated an annual total cost of ownership to operate. And so that's the same across all three providers. We've also estimated a transition cost. And so for you as a channel partner, this is how you can leverage this platform to justify the investment customer needs to make in doing a migration or a modernization activity. And so in addition to the opportunity to resell some of that cloud capacity, you also have the ability to sell the services to get the customer from their current state to this future state, whether it's optimizing and modernizing in the cloud or migrating that workload to the cloud. Last aspect of this total cost of ownership analysis is the calculation of a payback period. And you can see here in this model, phoenixNAP is offering a 3-month payback period once we complete our investment. It is providing the lowest total cost of ownership to achieve the service level that we're looking for and the security that we're looking for and the technology that we need for the deployment that we're looking to place. Observe the delta in the total cost of ownership for Amazon, as well as that total cost of ownership for Google and their VM-based infrastructure. This is not to say that Amazon and Google don't provide highly competitive offerings for certain requirements in the market, but it's showcasing the drastic variability in some of those public cloud models versus the cloud that can be procured through phoenixNAP. And so again, this is not a promise that phoenixNAP will win in every use case, but this is an example of where phoenixNAP offers tremendous value for customers in the market. This scorecarding isn't just an executive summary. It does provide a great deal of detail to make its recommendations actionable. The ability to look at other costs, either costs that are helping us to transition to the new model or aspects of the infrastructure that weren't part of the application but do need to be considered as a part of total cost of ownership. It's giving us a gap analysis, so you'll be able to show your customer those things that they may need to bring, like certain software. It'll also show you certain gaps, either in service level or technology, back to Google not offering a physical x86 platform for our bare metal requirement. Next, the product gives you great detail in terms of what are the best services available from each provider. So here we're comparing a D1 small in the bare metal cloud of phoenixNAP to a C5N metal instance in Amazon versus the closest size shape in a VM in Google. And so side by side, you can see the annual costs associated with these. Why is it that phoenixNAP has such a big cost advantage in this example that we're looking at? It's because in Amazon, in this scenario, the smallest shape they have that can give us bare metal is much larger than the requirements of our application. Our application required 16 CPU and 64 gigs, but the smallest shape I could get in Amazon was going to be way over provisioned. This is a clear differentiator for phoenixNAP in the market that can be demonstrated through the CloudGenera platform. For those workloads that have affinity to bare metal, there is a clear price for performance advantage for the smaller shapes. And we're not talking very small here, right? We're still talking a sizable machine size, but a very, very big delta. Now, that's not the case for every offering. You know, the smaller the offerings get, or in the case of looking at a platform as a service in Amazon, they can get more price competitive. But still, you know, these shapes show the clear price advantage when, you know, you don't need the largest physical bare metal infrastructure. And, you know, this is an important point to note that, you know, especially in these Kubernetes environments, sizing those nodes to host your containers is very important. It will drastically change the total cost of ownership in your environment. Okay, with that concludes our initial demonstration of the CloudGenera platform and its output, the scorecard, that helps customers visualize whether they want to compare within a provider or across providers what the best solutions would be for their workload.